Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you all my Mikanko Yugioh deck profile for January 2023 with the release of Amazing Defenders. This is the second deck that I'll be doing a deck profile for. Including in this deck is a ritual deck that focuses on equipping different equip spells onto your many Mikanko monsters. The big one being the ritual monster, which when it has an equip spell equipped onto it, your opponent will take any damage that you would take from this card. So it's really more of a setup deck meant to inflict some pretty big battle damage against your opponent using your main go-to boss monster Ohime, the Manifested Mikanko, and then the two main deck monsters that are focused with summoning her out onto the field. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for our only ritual monster that we run in the deck, we're running 3 copies of Ohime, the Manifested Mikanko. You can ritual summon this card with Mikanko Kagura. It cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving this card. You can only use each of the following effects of Ohime, the Manifested Mikanko, once per turn. You can reveal this card in your hand, add 1 Mikanko card from your deck to your hand, except for Ohime, the Manifested Mikanko, and then discard 1 card. In quick effect, you can target 1 equip spell in your graveyard, equip it to 1 appropriate monster on the field. So we run a good variety of equip spells in this deck, but being able just to search out our go-to ritual spell in the deck is very important, because then we can use it to special summon Ohime onto the field and then use our other main deck monsters to set up for her ritual play. Those main deck monsters include Nini, the Mirror Mikanko. If this card is not equipped with an equip card, you take no battle damage from battles involving this card. And if this card is equipped with an equip card, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving this card. During your opponent's turn, while this card is equipped with an equip card, quick effect, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, take control of it until the end phase. You can only use this effect of Nini the Mirror Mikanko once per turn. So this is meant to be more of a card to give you resources, being able to also stay on the field depending on if you have the appropriate equip card equipped to it or not. Depending on the many different Mikanko equip spells we have, you can have a variety of setup using this card as well, including just special summon power, but the resource to take your opponents is definitely the important one. The other main deck Mikanko monster we run is 3 copies of Hooray, the Sword Mikanko. If this card is not equipped with an equip card, you take no damage from battles involving this card. If it is equipped with an equip card, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving this card. And also, with this card, with the play, if an equip card becomes equipped to this card, you can add 1 Mikanko equip spell from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Hooray, the Sword Mikanko once per turn. So you have the option to search out equip spells with this card with a good variety of them, depending on which one you add to your hand, having additional plays for you to use while it is equipped to a Mikanko monster. For more of the fact that this is a ritual deck, we're also running 3 copies of Diviner of the Herald. With this card, if it's normal or special summon, you can send 1 fairy monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. If you do, increase this card's level by that monster's level until the end of this turn. If this card is tributed, you can special summon 1 level 2 or lower fairy monster from your hand or deck, except for Diviner of Herald. So the send option at least gives us the play to either send our Herald of the Arclight from the extra deck to the graveyard to gain the additional search with that card, or our Elder Entity. Also being able to increase the level of Diviner to level 6, having enough for the level tribute to then use it for the ritual play to summon out Ohime, the Manifested Mikanko, being a level 6 monster. And for the fact that you want to give your opponent some high-level monsters to then swing into with your monsters, since they'll take any damage you would have, I run 2 Nibiru, 1 Gameciel, and 2 Lava Golem. If you wanted to increase your ratios, you can always take out either the Nibiru or the Lava Golems and put in additional copies of Kaijus. It's all player preference with the ratio number you want to use for these 5 card slots here. Just having this option to give your opponent a token with incredibly high attack that they really can't use anything with if they don't have any more plays to extend. You can then just summon out your Mikanko monster and swing into that token, and that could be the game-winning damage you need against your opponent. And the last of the hand traps just being 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring as well. If you wanted just to run additional tribute monsters, this can also be the spot where you put in some more Kaiju monsters, and also you could even run the additional uninterrupted Kaiju Slumber for more destruction and setup on both players' fields. Moving on now to the spells. Before we get to the equip spells, I run 3 copies of the Great Mikanko Ceremony. You special summon 1 Mikanko monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions, but return return it to the hand during your opponent's end phase. And during the main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard to send one Mikanko card from your deck to the graveyard, except for the Great Mikanko Ceremony. You can only use this effect of the Great Mikanko Ceremony once per turn. So being able to set up your ritual even in the graveyard to then add it back to the graveyard with cards like Preparation of Rites can be a great setup with this card, but also just being able to easily give you a monster special summon onto the field, especially if you use cards like Lava Golem, which can take away your normal summon for getting that monster on the field to begin with. And I also run, starting with some of the equip spells, 3 copies of Mikanko Water Arabesque. The equipped monster cannot be destroyed by card effects. During your main phase, you can special summon 1 Mikanko monster from your hand or deck with a different original name than the equipped monster. If you do equip it with this card, then return the monster that was previously equipped with this card to the hand. You can use this effect of Mikanko Water Arabesque once per turn, but it can send that 1 additional monster as a special summon onto the field, bouncing the other one you had to your hand, but still having that resource available to you to use for the tribute for your ritual summon of your Ohime, the manifested Mikanko, on the field. I also run 2 copies of Mikanko Fire Dance. Pretty good. Still, I think the Water Arabesque has better setup than this card. You special summon 1 Mikanko monster from your hand or graveyard, and if you do equip it with this card, then you can special summon 1 from your opponent's graveyard to their field, but negate its effect. So it gives you that bigger monster resource on your opponent's field for you to use, along with setting up more of the other Mikanko monsters you may have already had in the deck. I also run 2 copies of Double-Edged Sword, reprinted in the Amazing Defenders booster set. You can only control 1 Double-Edged Sword. The equipped monster gains 2,000 attack. Also, both players take any battle damage from attacks involving the equipped monster. If you take 2,000 or more battle damage, send this card to the graveyard. So with it, you have another way to inflict damage to your opponent using this card, but also power up your own monsters on the field also. And I also run 2 copies of Mikanko Purification Dance. With this equip spell, equip only to a Mikanko monster. The equipped monster cannot be destroyed by card effects. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, except during the damage step, you can take 1 monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls and return them to the hand, having more bounce power, but more of another resource for you then just to special summon back onto the field with some of your other Mikanko monsters and spells. And then for the one-ofs for the Mikanko cards, 1 copy of Heavenly Gate of the Mikanko. While you control a monster that is equipped with an equipped card, all monsters your opponent control can attack and must attack monsters equipped with equipped cards. And if your Mikanko monster battles, your opponent cannot activate card or effects until the end of damage step. At the end of damage step, if your Mikanko monster attacked, you can send 1 equipped card you control to the graveyard, and you can make another attack. So this can be part of the leading combo for you to just swing and have the full damage needed for your opponent to lose the duel. I only run 1 copy of the field spell, though, because we can just easily search it out with Ohime, the manifested Mikanko. Same with our Mikanko Reflection Rondo. You equip only to an opponent's monster. While you control a Mikanko monster, take control of that equipped monster. Neither player can activate the effects of equipped monster while you control it. And lastly, our ritual spell, which is Mikanko Kagura. This card can be used to ritual summon any Mikanko ritual monster. You must also tribute monsters from your hand or field whose total levels equal to or exceed the level of the ritual monster. Then you can apply the following effects. Destroy cards your opponent controls up to the number of equipped spells with different names in your graveyard, and if you do, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent for each card destroyed. You can only activate 1 Mikanko Kagura per turn, but going back to the token play that you could potentially do with Nibiru, or even just having a powerhouse monster on the field, if you have plenty of different equip spells set up in your graveyard, you can destroy that many cards of your opponents, and then just dwindle down their life points with this ritual spell to enough that you can just swing potentially with 1 monster to end the duel right there and there. But one-ofs for each of those, once again, if you have the ritual monster in your hand, they're just an easy search each turn by revealing that ritual monster in your hand. For more recycle and search power, also 3 Preparation of Rites. You just add 1 level 7 or lower ritual monster from your deck to your hand, and then being able to recycle the one-of ritual spell that we have in the graveyard back to our hand is always a big help. And then lastly, the 1 Reinforcements of the Army, since we can use it to search out our 1 warrior Mikanko monster, being our Here, the Sword of the Mikanko. And then for the traps, I run 1 copy of Mikanko Promise. You special summon 1 Mikanko monster from your hand or deck. Then you can equip it with 1 equip spell from your hand or graveyard that can equip to that monster and banish it when it leaves the field. You can activate 1 Mikanko Promise per turn. Just another easy resource set up with this card, being able to add it to your hand. Also with the other mentioned ritual monster that takes a lot of our plays into consideration for the deck. Moving on now to the extra deck for the Link monsters. I run 1 copy of Nightmare Phoenix, 1 copy of Lena the Light Charmer, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Barricade Board Blocker, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 Apollosa, and 1 Underworld Goddess for the Link lineup. For the Synchro Monsters, 2 copies of Herald of the Arclight to have send targets with our Herald of the Diviner of the Herald, sorry, mixed up the names there, and also 2 copies of Elder Entity for the send and destruction power if we need it. And for the Xyz monsters, 1 Leviair, since they are level 3 monsters for both of our main deck Mikanko monsters, 1 Utopia Beyond. We rarely go into the rank 6 plays, but if you have 2 Ohime on the field, it is possible, or even just with the 1 Ohime and the 1 raised level of Diviner of the Herald. And then also 1 Downward Magician and 1 Zeus for the additional overlay onto our rank 3 monster. As for some of the go-to plays in the deck, search and setup for the ritual can be a big part for our equip spell setup as well. Just being able to reveal this card and add the proper needed equip spell, or even just the ritual spell from our deck to our hand, and then the discard of another card to the graveyard is all we really need for that setup, getting our monster set up on the field, and then with the proper equip spell, being able to use that card when equipped to that monster, and then being able to special summon a different monster and then equip that spell card onto that monster, having the bounce back to our hands, can then allow us to activate our Mikanko Kagura, having that equip spell being sent to the graveyard as well, along with the 2 monsters to ritual summon out our Ohime, the manifested Mikanko, and then having that 1 destruction, if that is the early game play, destroy 1 card on our opponent's field. You don't want to aim for the monster because then you'll just want to attack into that monster and have your opponent take any battle damage that you would have taken with Ohime, the manifested Mikanko, and then also be able to have the additional equip with more equip spells onto Ohime, making it so she also can't be destroyed by card effects. So having it so she can't be destroyed by battle or card effects makes it that much more difficult for your opponent to get over this card to begin with. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Once again, just getting through all of the many different decks that we got in the Amazing Defenders booster set. They're all looking like really awesome different play styles to use. We had the Xyz power with the Perle deck, the Ritual Equip power with the Mikanko deck, and then we'll be getting to the Rescue Force deck and its control play style as well in an upcoming video. But as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.